Hey everybody, this is Joseph Pisek, and welcome to the Fired Up Network. Welcome to the soccer show. Welcome to the World Cup preview with Coach Carmen Asako. World Cup begins on Thursday in Mexico, Friday here at Toronto Stadium, formerly BMO Field, or do I say formerly BMO Field? Whatever. It's Canada and their first game, but Carm, the world, the world is watching you right now. The world is watching Canada. Forget about the team right now. Is Toronto and Canada ready for the world to watch us beginning on Friday?
I mean, yeah, you hear politicians talking, and um, one politician compared this to a Taylor Swift concert, and I was in awe that she said this, and then she compared it to the World Series. I mean, no offense to the World Series. I mean, it's a great event, but it's not even 10% of the magnitude of what's going to happen in Toronto right now. So you tell me, and I think this was the organizing committee head. So you tell me if Toronto's ready. This is going to be an explosion of culture, an explosion of passion, and passion can get out of line sometimes. And if you have the teams that are coming here or that could potentially come to Toronto, especially in the knockout round, this is going to be epic. This is going to be crazy for sure.
It's something that we haven't seen before, and who knows if we're going to see it again, right? Maybe in another 100 years, right? So let's get to previewing the groups here. Group A, which starts on Thursday, Mexico hosting it. Don't forget Canada, US, and Mexico hosting it. Mexico, South Africa, Korea Republic, and Czechia. Who you got winning the group and who's finishing second?
Um, I mean, I think that like the Koreans are
Mexico
very
wins it.
strong, very organized. Mexico, yeah, Mexico should win the group, but it's not an easy group.
Yeah.
It's South Africa and Czechia are going to be tough games. I think I see a lot of ties in this, um, and it's going to be between South Korea and Mexico for me.
All right, and third place group, like I think one of these third place groups in this group makes it to the next round because I believe four third places make it. So I believe one third place. So I feel bad for the fourth place team who doesn't make it. Right. So there you go. Now Group B: Canada, Bosnia Herzegovina, Qatar, and Switzerland. Do you got Canada or Switzerland winning this group?
I got the it's difficult for Canada without. I mean, Moise Bombito, without Alfonso Davies, without. I mean, do they have cover? I think for sure they have cover for the wide areas where Alfonso would be playing for sure, and they have good depth there. I worry about the center backs, um, but I think the goalkeeping. Obviously, Kerpo was announced, but even Dane or Kerpo, either one of them will be very solid. I mean, I do think Dane's going to be playing in this tournament, but yeah, I mean, it's let's go with this. This game is massively important. Bosnia, Canada, massively important. They need to get if they get 3 points, it's fantastic for them. They'll probably finish first and second in the group. Third place, they get through. So really, they have to just beat Qatar. So they got to manage that. But and you never know what's going to happen in the prelim rounds because of the top three making it through. It's going to be
Yeah.
very it's going to be very pragmatic. So you never know if like the big teams are going to lose a game because of the pragmatism or because they want to have people fresh for the round of or for the next rounds for the knockout rounds. So yeah, for me, we'll just talk about Canada. We'll talk about Switzerland. And this game for Bosnia is massive, and that's a great roster for Bosnia. Let's not
Yeah.
forget they beat the Italians. And in the run of play, they beat the Italians as well. Regardless of the red card, obviously that was a huge factor. But yeah, Bosnia Slovenia, Canada, and Switzerland. I think all three could win the group.
And you know what? Let's face it. You say about Canada, all these injuries and all that, right? And it's true. But if Canada could make first place here, they play the next round at home in Vancouver. So they stay because the first game's here in at BMO or Toronto Stadium, and then they play in BC Place Stadium the next two games. So they stay in BC if they make first place. So that's critical to make the first place for Canada. And let's face it, if they get to the second round, it's history in the making. Because they never last 4 years ago they scored their first goal. Great. Now they got to win a game and then make it to the second round. Who knows? Maybe the third round. But it is critical. On Friday's game is critical. 3 p.m. Friday, Canada, Bosnia Herzegovina. How you like to be in traffic? Traffic will be no traffic on Friday at 3 p.m. Put it that way, all right? Now, Group C. It's interesting here. Group C is Brazil, Morocco, Haiti, and Scotland. Brazil should win this group, but Haiti, Morocco, and Scotland should battle out for second place, and Morocco is going to surprise a lot of people. What do you say?
Well, Morocco went to the semifinals of the last World Cup. Let's not forget.
Yeah.
They got the same depth, the same team, great goalkeeping. Obviously, a few years older. Hakimi's a superstar, probably at his peak right now. But and Brazil isn't a lot of interesting decisions Mr. Ancelotti made as far as not bringing João Pedro from Chelsea, bringing Neymar, all kinds of interesting decisions that he's made. But I think they're pragmatic decisions. I think this team has learned to win regardless of the flair, and then you're going to get individual flair from Vinny and the likes of those types of players. But you have a lot of good defensive players, good goalkeeping. Yes, and I think this team is set to win this division for sure. So you look at Brazil, you look at Morocco.
All right. So then you got, and I know our guy, and we're going to have our guy throughout the playoffs, John Freeman Nelson, because he's looking, John Freeman Nelson, Group D, USA, Paraguay, Australia, and Turkey. Hard group. I'm going to say
Turkey's,
this.
Everyone's saying Turkey's the sleeper. Turkey could get go far very deep in this tournament. I agree with that. I think that the U.S. has been stumbling. Probably played a great game against Germany, but a fair result. So imagine a great game, and it was a 2-1, obviously preseason game, and it really is indicative, but it's not indicative of what will happen come first game of the season. But I do think that the U.S., if they get a tie against Turkey, they can win this group, and I think that's what's going to happen. I think the U.S. is going to win this group. Turkey's going to finish second.
All right, Group E, Germany, Morocco, Cote d'Ivoire, and Ecuador. For me, it's, these Cote d'Ivoire, you always don't know. Ecuador is going to put up a fight there, and Germany, of course, being German. So go ahead. Germany should win this division, and a lot of people are putting Germany in the Final Four or Elite Eight. What do you say?
I think the worst thing that happened to Cote d'Ivoire is the performance they put up against the French, beating the French just 2 weeks ago or a week ago. So they're not, and we saw them, excuse me, in Toronto months ago playing against Canada, and they've got a lot of depth. It's an excellent team. I think Germany wins the group. I think Cote d'Ivoire finds a way to find that second. And that second spot, and the rest is up in the air in that group. It's there are definitely no groups of death, but there's still parity in the kind of middle teams.
You seen Cote d'Ivoire over Ecuador? Because I picked Ecuador for second.
No, I picked Cote d'Ivoire for second. Ecuador, probably will get through third.
Right.
And
Now, Group F, Netherlands, Japan, Sweden, and Tunisia. You talk about a group of death. This is close to a group of death. Netherlands, okay, but the other three, it's very hard to pick. Japan and Sweden, it's a toss up.
yeah, yeah, I think the Swedes will sneak in third and Japanese a second. But Holland hasn't convinced. It hasn't been convincing their performances lately. But I do think that they'll get their stuff together to win the group. And and we're talking about recovery time and depth, and the Japanese have everything to win the group for sure and go very deep in this tournament. But 6 day recovery on every game is a lot. So you're always going to have your best, and you're always going to have those transitional players be in top peak form.
All right, so Group G, Belgium, Egypt, Iran, and New Zealand. Well, Belgium for sure, but the second place or third place team is Egypt and Iran. I don't know. We better have if it's in Canada, we better have high security. Put it this way.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, obviously there's a lot of political issues with the Iranians and where they're going to come at all, or how is FIFA dealing with it. And Trump is up to his old business apparently at the immigration table for some of the Iranian
Yeah.
staff and players. But regardless of all that, Iran has a proper professional league. I think that Egypt and Iran will be fighting for that second spot, and I think that Egypt, their lack of, I mean, they obviously Salah, but their lack of experience at this level, and their lack of dominance, their group is going to be very important. But I just don't. I see the Iranians beating the Egyptians, and the group Belgium, who's getting a little bit older too. You know,
Yep.
I think they'll find a way to win the group, although they haven't been great at international level. They'll find a way to win the group, and I think the Iranians finish second and surprise a lot of people.
All right, Group H, Spain, uh, Verde, Saudi Arabia, and Uruguay. For me, you know where I'm going, Spain. So,
Yeah,
but
yeah. The Spanish again, very organized. They're just probably without question the best national team out there. Best national federation. They organize this group as a team. Others have superstars that get together every 2-3 months. So I think that the Spanish Federation has a vision almost like a club vision. So I think the Spanish are for sure the favorites in this tournament. Obviously, favorites in their group, um, and then you know uh, we'll see about. Sorry, who else was in that group?
Uruguay,
Oh,
Saudi Arabia, and Cabo Verde.
yeah, the Saudi Arabians. You know,
I like
they
Uruguay in
they
second
they
place
find
there.
ways. They upset Argentina. They found a way to beat Argentina. They find a way to compete. Uh, Uruguay is obviously the second choice, and they're going to give Spain definitely a battle, depending where that game lies in between the three or whatever. But yeah, let's assume that the Saudi Arabians aren't going to have the magic that they had against Argentina in 2022, and then let's let they find a way to finish third.
All right, then we got Group I, France, Senegal, which I think is going to be a sleeper, Iraq, and Norway.
That's a tough group. I
Yeah.
I see I see Norway and France finding the top two. Um, Senegal, although Iraq, uh, is just got a couple of good results in their preparation to the World Cup. But I think that they don't have enough going forward, enough players playing at the highest level to compete. So, yeah, I think Senegal finds their way to third place. I'm not sure that. Yeah, obviously they've had a lot of success in this tournament before, but Norway comes in great form, and obviously Erling Haaland, and Odegaard, and players of that ilk have will set the pace for this group for sure. So I see France and Norway and Senegal.
All right, Group J. Notice Group J. The reigning, defending World Cup champions, Argentina. All right, Argentina, Algeria, Austria, and Jordan.
Yeah, I mean, probably a good preparation for the group, and it's more for Argentina. More importantly, it's good for the young kids to get their feet wet, like the Nico Pazes of the world, um, all that stuff. Those people, that's going to be key for Argentina. There's all kinds of younger players that are going to get their feet wet, and they're going to be at an incredible level, coming where they came from. Um, and it'll give Messi, maximum potential, maximum rest, and hopefully be at his best when he needs to be in the knockout rounds. And also, Rodrigo De Paul. There's some aged players coming in there, and but the Romero, a lot of players that have been through it, and that will need to be at their optimal level come the knockout rounds.
All right, now we got Group K, Portugal, Congo, Uzbekistan, and Colombia. This is for me, it's Portugal and Colombia battling it out. What do you say?
Yeah, no, Portugal should breeze through this group. And again, like if you're giving the Portuguese for me are one of the favorites of the tournament, probably. And this round robin, these three games will be great preparation. They're solid in every position. They're solid everywhere on the field. You know, and they come with tons of pedigree with Ruben Diaz, uh, all kinds of Silva, just all kinds. Fernandez, Manchester United, obviously, all kinds of talent there, and I think that they've been together a long time, and I think that they can get this right, and I think they'll be one of the favorites to get very far in this tournament, and this group is very favorable to them. So the Portuguese, the Colombians, not because of talent or anything, but because of the lack of quality of the other two teams, I think will still struggle, but get through the group in second place.
All right, and finally, Group L, the last group here: England, Russia, Ghana, and Panama. Here, England hasn't won since 1966. A lot of fans want to see them, well, in the final, winning it. What do you think of the English side this time around?
Well, Thomas Tuchel took many chances. I mean, no Palmer, no Foden, a lot of players he left off the list with pedigree. No Maguire, that has been through the been through the system. So he's got the idea of the team concept. Bringing in a Jordan Henderson. Like these are interesting choices, but he's got his vision, and obviously these guys will be bought into the vision, and I think that they'll go very far. Um, they've got obviously world class players in Harry Kane and Bellingham and Saka, and the list is long, but you still left off some big time players. I mean, leaving off Palmer and Foden, these for me is you know they're impactful players, but he went with people that would buy into the system, and the people that were the players that were most prepared. And Foden in the last few months didn't get a lot of play time in Man City, and and Palmer himself was in and out because of injuries. So I don't know. Pragmatic. I think this could be genius from Thomas Tuchel, or it could definitely seal his legacy as a terrible one if it doesn't work out.
All right. So now forget about the second round and third round and all that. Let's give me your final four picks into this year's World Cup, and then give me the player of the tournament in your eyes.
The player of the tournament in my eyes. Well, Mbappe with France is always probably the top player in the tournament. But there's so many big players in this tournament that are going to make impacts that it's so hard to say. Even you look at so many situations that could happen. As far as the final four, the top 5 teams, I think there's a good 8 teams that could win this tournament.
Yeah.
Then you look some of the younger players like the Paz of Argentina, the Yildiz of Turkey. So many.
What about Spain? Yamal, come on.
Yamal, Lamina, yeah, absolutely. But I mean, and there's that Spanish team is so many. Like they're so well put together. So for me, as far as the one that's going to stand out is the one they play for is not like it happened in PSG or happened in Real Madrid. Is they definitely play for Mbappe in France.
Yeah.
So I think that will be the man of the tournament. He'll fight for the Golden Boot. The other players, obviously, half the Spanish team could make an impact. I'm think that Yildiz in Turkey is going to make an impact. I'm hoping Jonathan David comes out of the shell and makes an impact, and Tajon Buchanan. I'm hoping. Pulisic is going to have to be great for the U.S. for them to go anywhere. But yeah, there's so many good teams and so many good situations that could happen. We haven't even mentioned the Croatians, which are still at a top level, even though they're very aged, and this could be the end. But anyway, yes. So Portugal.
And
for me, it's Spain.
I'll say North America.
My teams are going to be the
Spain, Portugal. Who else?
France is always incredibly tough in international play. I'm going with a lot of the European countries, but the humidity, and it's going to be humid, definitely. So I think that, and the Europeans won't. So we can't count out Argentina always. Obviously, there's a lot of teams in this tournament right now, and there's a lot we could miss.
What about Brazil?
You know what? I like Brazil. I like Ancelotti. I like obviously they're probably the other than Canada, they're probably the team I'm cheering for to do the best because of Carlo Ancelotti, and he got the maximum out of Vini in Real Madrid. He'll be practical. Yes. Brazil are the same names are going to be the same ones that are going to be in that the top 8 in the end of it. I just don't see the Netherlands doing as much as we think.
I don't see Portugal doing as much as you think. That's the truth. I like Spain, Argentina, good. Brazil, I like in the Final Four. And the fourth one, I don't know. It's a toss-up because a lot of people are saying England. A lot of people are saying France. Fourth one for me. But I'm going to ask you this. 48 teams now, okay? And we got, I believe, 6 countries hosting the World Cup in 2030 and then 2034, Saudi Arabia. Do you think we should go to 60 teams? 60 to 64.
Well, you
teams.
might as well.
World Cup, go 2 months. Why can't we go 2 months?
At that point, you might as well run. Exactly. That's what I was going to say. At that point, you might as well run a 3-month season. No, you can't go too deep. Obviously, qualifying still has. Uh, Obviously, if you ask Italy, qualifying still has an impact and a toughness to it, but it shouldn't. But well, because we have 48 teams, if they go to 60, it's just going to be too watered down. I mean, and no offense to Curacao and Cape Verde and teams like that, but it's going to be very, very, very difficult for them.
All right. So some final, a couple final questions with Carmen Asako here on Fired Up Network. Now, Carmen, it's Canada, U.S., Mexico. Okay, let's start off with Mexico. First game's in Mexico, Thursday, 3 p.m. All right. So Mexico, what's their best chances? We're already saying they're probably not going to make the Final Four, but do they make the Elite Eight?
No, I just don't. I don't see the Mexicans being the powerhouse that they've been before. They've got a few young players that are exciting, but I don't think that they have enough to make a big stink in this. And I think that the expectations, even by the Mexicans themselves, aren't as grand as they have been in the past. Um, yeah, so a lot of it's a younger team now, but I just don't see the mix of experience with strength and with the ability and they've become the sometimes the third best team in CONCACAF. So
Yeah.
that's the reality of the situation, and I think that the U.S. and probably Canada have a better as good a chance, and we haven't said that in the past, or even a better chance to go further than Mexico.
All right. So now let's and I'm going to clip this for John Freeman Nelson. Uh, USA. Most of the games are played in the United States. USA, they know they want to be a power here. They don't want to make Donald Trump fall asleep at championship games like he did at the NBA final on Tuesday there. Okay. By the way, he goes or Monday, he goes to Madison Square Garden and falls asleep. All right. So like there you go. So USA, what are the best chance? They're not going to win the World Cup. Is their best chance to make the Final Four, or do you think they make the Final Eight and they're content?
Well, I mean, Mauricio,
I like to
Mauricio
ask John
Pochettino.
now.
Mauricio Pochettino hasn't been, his results other than obviously at Tottenham he was fantastic, but after that, and he's learned a lot. There's been a lot of yips, a lot of questionable moments, a lot of questioning. So, and I think the U.S. has could learn from that. Um, but we'll see. I mean, you've got players like Serginho Dest, who they're relying on, who's proven over and over to not be the level that they think he was at. You've got Pulisic, who has to be consistent. McKinney, who's for me a dog. I think he's going to be, but can he do it for 6, 8 games, which is very difficult.
Yeah,
You got Tim Ream as the captain there, who's in the middle 30s, upper 30s, great mentality, but can he do it physically? A lot of players that have done well in different levels in the Prem, and you have the question mark of Weah and Balogun. Where are they going to find their goals from? Lots of question marks, and then there's obviously the Reina factor. Does he merit to be there? Is he good enough? Is he going to make an impact? There's all kinds of situations and then you have Berhalter, who's come on and been an incredible leader. And if will the U.S. give a Vancouver MLS player that ability to assert himself? Because if they do, they'll be successful. Because Berhalter's Again, another one like the McKinneys. He's a dog. He's going to
Yeah.
work hard, and there's no question that he could do it for 8 games. But like those are question marks, and they have to be world class not only on the field technically and tactically, but they also have to be world class in their mindset. Which there's too many question marks. There's too many question marks, and it could be a surprise that they get out of they don't even go to, the round of 32. So lots of hiccups there.
All right. So now Canada, for me, like I said, scoring the first goal, winning the first game. I expect it to be this in Canada, getting to the next round, and even I think they're going to get to the round of 16. What do you say? And the only thing that prevents that is they come in with a bunch of injuries. I don't know, and he took Marsh took a year and a half to determine the number one goalie, and we're still questioning it. Because for me, and I'm going to be honest, maybe their third goalie is probably their best. All right, so that's the truth. But anyways, I digress. What do you think the best finish for O Canada is?
The question marks like uh, are center backs. I mean, Luke DeForgereau, we all hope he has a great career. We all hope that he goes back to Fulham and plays in the Prem, and we like from the time I've had with the kid, he's a fantastic player, fantastic mindset, fantastic person, and he's one of those kids that you want to see do well, and he will do well. Um, you question Cornelius's physical ability to do, six games, 5 games, whatever it's going to be. Can he be that leader that they need in the center back? All kinds of question marks with Cornelius. Rangers obviously have answers because they didn't really play him. Um, and but he's a different beast when he's with the national team. He's a different, and he's definitely committed and definitely has the right mindset. Let's hope he can do it for, like we said, 5, 6 games. And who's going to cover for them? Is it the Watermans of the world? Is Alfie Jones going to be ready to play? Who provides that stability and experience? All that's for me the center back position right now. Is it Ralph Prizo that's going to come in because Bombito's, not going to probably make it? And Bombito, like people don't realize the magnitude of losing a Bombito because Bombito is world class. You just look
Yeah.
at Nice last year, uh, you know, qualified for European competition with him. Without him, they had to win the relegation battle to stay up in Liga. So for me, Bombito is just massive, massive, and will Jesse have the ability to find solutions, and it's going to be cut and paste solutions there. So and everywhere else we're deep. Obviously Richie with the hamstring issue is an issue, but we have cover. We have Nico Sigor who's proven over and over that he can do the job. Alistair Johnson coming back in full form, doing what he did with Celtic at the end of the season. And then you worry about the depth with Ali Ahmed not being 100%. Can Liam Miller do it over even 3 games at a consistent rate? Tejan Buchanan's a no-brainer. He's going to be there for the group. He's going to be fantastic for the group. Kyle Laren and Jonathan David, no-brainers. Tani El-Oshwani, no-brainers. These guys are incredible professionals. Is Eustachio in the midfield we have? It's like it's interchangeable at times. I mean, the only one for me right now, and he's going to have his up and downs, is Kone that stays. Then you have Eustachio, Schwanier, Saliba, guys that have put in the work and have been fantastic. Alsario could play in any position, and he's obviously going to be spot use because he's not a spring chicken anymore. But it's a good group. It's a very, very good group. But this is gonna be a lot to do with the manager and managing moments, managing starts, managing center back, managing it defensively, and he asks a lot of his center backs in his pressing mentality. there'll be a lot of what situations where they're 2v2 and 1v1 against some world-class players. So I love Canada. I think that they can go to the final 16 if they have Bombito, and if their center backs can do the job, and Matt Marsh manages it properly with the center backs and the rotations. I still think they could do well, but that's the massive question. It's not Dane, who is a great goalkeeper. It's not Maxime Crepeau, who's a great goalkeeper. I think it's that CB, those CBs, and the rotations and substitutions are going to be incredibly important. There's a lot of pressure on Jesse Marsh with this group right now.
Yeah. And for me, you mentioned everything. I could have mentioned it better, but I'm always afraid with Davies and who's going to score the goals. You need to score one goal to win a match, right? Who's going to score the goals? So that's the question mark here. So
Hello?
I'm going to ask. Yeah, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Oh, he can't hear me. Come back out and come back in. Come back out and come back in. And we'll be rejoined by Carm in a couple seconds. Probably somebody called him. Every time somebody calls him, something goes wrong. But with Canada here, by the way, this is Toronto Stadium. With Canada here, we're expecting a lot from Canada. Like I said, there's questions who's going to score the goals. You need to score more than one goal to win in soccer and football. But that's the question for me for Canada. Who's going to score the goals? Can you hear me, Carm?
Yeah. Sorry, there was a glitch there. Jonathan David is a world-class striker.
Yeah, no problem.
Jonathan David,
we're going to close it out.
Tani Elishari has proven over. Kyle Larin was fantastic, one of the best strikers in England the last part of the season.
Yep.
We can find goals. Are we missing a creative 10? Okay, maybe. Are we missing that creative player in the midfield? But we have players that can do the work. We have players that can distribute a ball on restarts with Eustáquio and Choinière, doing really well with that. We have Liam Miller that can find assists. We never touch upon him.
Yep.
Tejan Buchanan was prolific at moments in La Liga. So we have players to score goals. Again, the only question mark for me is going to be that leadership in the middle of the field, in the middle of the back. CBs.
Yeah. All right. So here, since we're in North America, always something big happens in North America. And this year, it's Mexico and Canada and US. I think we're going to have the last ever matchup between Ronaldo and Messi. What do you say? Do you think something big happens like that?
Well, it's World Cup. Every game's going to be big. But the biggest, obviously there's going to be many storylines in this World Cup, whether it's Mbappe and Messi, whether it's Mbappe or Ronaldo and Haaland. There's so many storylines in this. It's Kane. There's so many incredible matchups that you can see. It's
all right,
and we'll see.
And the final question before I make a big announcement, Carm. Final question: who holds the Jules Rimet Trophy? By the way, you don't know what Jules Rimet Trophy is? Shame on you if you call yourself a football or soccer fan. Tell everybody, Carm, what Jules Rimet Trophy is.
It's the World Cup trophy.
That's right. A lot of people think it's like the Stanley Cup or whatever. It's called the Jules Rimet Trophy. Who's going to hold it up in Meadowlands Stadium, the home of the Giants and Jets, because there's never going to be seen anything like that if you're a Jets or Giants fan? Who's going to hold up the trophy in 2026?
Brazil.
Brazil beating who?
Brazil, I think it's going to be maybe even on so many scenarios you don't know. I just don't think that the Europeans in this type of climate, both obviously the weather and I went to that Canada-Argentina semifinal in the Meadowlands when it was July and it was 600% humidity. and it was 200 degrees. I just think the South Americans are just more prepared for this type. But again, every South American plays in Europe now, so put it in all perspective. I think it's going to be. I think
All right.
Brazil's going to be that group. I think Brazil's that team. I think they might even play in Argentina or someone like that in the latter stages, maybe even in the final.
All right. So he says Brazil. I say anybody, 48 teams can hold it up. See, I'm never wrong. All right. But here, Carm, as you know, we're going to be joined by John Freeman Nelson of OSG Sports. The OSG Sports and Fired Up Network have put on one of the best lineups for you to ever have as an independent companies here covering the World Cup of Soccer. He's in the U.S., we're in Canada. I have John Carlo he's in Mexico, but also we're going to have Carm. You're more than welcome to join us for every Canadian game, maybe every big stuff happens. But we have contests coming on. Look, Carm, you like my new scarf? Scarf.
Yes.
Look, Carm, we're giving away.
You're gonna need it. You're gonna need us. You're gonna need us. Oh, nice, beautiful. Love it.
We're giving away.
Just
Brazil
make sure it's FIFA certified. Make sure it's FIFA certified.
It is FIFA certified.
You're gonna.
It is FIFA certified. We got them from actually FIFA. Brazil jerseys, Spain jerseys, Canada jerseys. Again, stay tuned to all our social media for contest details. And myself, John Nelson of OSG Sports, Mexico, we're going to cover the World Cup like no one else. And in fact, Carm, this week we got Alf DeBrassis and Stephanie Dwyer joining us for another preview. And hopefully each and every Canadian game, we got Carmen Asako dissecting Canada's victories. Forget about ties. Victories. We want wins. We must win. Nike, just do it. And look, we've never seen something as big as this tournament here in Toronto. Stay safe. They win. Don't break down the city. They lose. Don't break down the city. Don't fight. Don't everything. Let's show the world. The world is watching us beginning on Friday. Show the world what a great country is and how we can establish everything proper in the world in Canada. Carm, any last comments?
Well said, Joe. Let's show them we're a great country. Let's show them that we're ready for this monumental international event. Not whatever concert that they said, and that let's show. And I hope the world shows Canada and our Canadian people what the World Cup is about, and a new level of passion, a new level of just love that they're going to see right now. And you know what, hopefully we prove all the politicians and everyone wrong that said that we're spending too much money. We spend so much money appropriately on culture, on language, on making our youth better people, and this is the epitome of it. The World Cup is the epitome of culture. It's the epitome of the world coming together. So if we can't invest in that, then we have a problem. It's the epitome of who we are as Canadians. We're all, a mosaic, and we have to embrace this, not freaking question it. This is a legacy that we need to leave on the world.
That's right. Amen. And also, let's hope, let's pray, and let's hope we don't argue and we don't fight about stupid referee calls. All right? Put it that way.
If someone compares the World Cup to a Taylor Swift concert one more time, I'm gonna fight.
First of all, the Taylor Swift tickets were cheaper than the World Cup tickets here. $6,000, $8,000. What is going? The only one who could attend these games are Carmen. By the way, Carm, on Friday, are me and you meeting up to go to the game or what?
Yeah.
All right. And
All
by the way,
right, Joe.
5 o'clock, around 5:30 on Friday, me and you will get 10 minutes to discuss about hopefully Team Canada's victory. Again, you're watching Fired Up Network 2026 World Cup coverage. Thank you, Carm, and check out all our social media for those contest details. Thanks a lot, Carm.